And winter is coming.
Hey, welcome to Half the Battle, and welcome back to Winter is Coming!
Today, we're taking a look at a toy that I've wanted to review for a long time, but wasn't able to. Namely, the Polar Battle Bear or Ski-Mobile. You see, I had this as a kid, and I still own it in fact, but it's broken and missing pieces, so not fit for review. I actually got two more as part of lots I bought through the years, but they were also broken and missing pieces.
That tells you something, well, two possible things.
One, the toy is fragile, and or two, kids loved playing with them so much damage was more likely due to heavy play. Anyway, I was delighted to pick up a mint and complete one 2 months ago at Vintage Toys of the Universe. I wasn't just happy to have a pristine version of a childhood toy back, but I was also glad it gave me something to review for Winter is Coming. So meet the Polar Battle Bear or Ski-Mobile. This vehicle was released in 1983 with all original parts. Well, that's in North America anyway. It wasn't released in Belgium until 1989.
Yeah, we were a bit behind here. I'm still waiting on Hasbro to release the USS flag here. Any day now.
I have to say, this is a fun little vehicle with a surprising amount of play value. It has wheels hidden inside the tracks so it can actually move. And the skis can move left and right, only being hampered by the tracks, otherwise they'd be able to move 360 degrees. The Ski-Mobile is armed with two missiles that are removable, which is neat but also explains why so many are incomplete, if you do find them on the secondary market. It also has twin laser cannons that you can move left and right by touching them or using the sliding lever behind them.
It does feel a bit flimsy, so be careful with it.
There's an almost hidden play feature as the engine cover is removable, revealing a pretty detailed engine. Nice, but another thing that can get lost. Lastly, there's a tow hook that can be used with other vehicles, but considering how small the Battle Bear is, this looks quite comical.
Speaking of comical,
there's technically room for 3 figures on this tiny thing. One figure goes into the driver's seat, obviously, and there's 2 foot pegs on the back, one on each side of the engine for 2 more figures. And sure, you can put figures there, but damn if that doesn't look cozy. There's also 2 grips on the handlebar for those figures to grab, and oh boy, even though it's not meant to be removed, it does come off and is more often than not missing or broken if you do find the toy nowadays. Detailing is okay, but the whole thing is pretty smooth. There is the steering wheel and the dashboard though, where there are some nice decals. It's pretty funny that the most detailed part of the vehicle, the engine, is hidden. One thing that's weird is the black part at the front. The blueprints call this a bulletproof windshield, but it's pretty damn useless at that, isn't it? Look at how low it is! The driver's torso and head are completely exposed. Only their junk is protected.
And yes, groin protection is important, but not if their torso is riddled with bullets.
Of course, this windshield nitpick doesn't detract from the fact this is still a pretty cool little vehicle that I'm happy to finally have in my collection. The Ski-Mobile didn't come with a driver, but the box art has Snow Job behind the wheel, which is pretty logical considering he was the first and only Arctic Joe at the time. Less logical is the bare-chested gung-ho on the back. And that was the only toy the Polar Battle Bear has ever gotten. The mold was reused in 2002 in a very comical way to create a rock slide, where they added a huge missile launcher to the back, making it as aerodynamic as a Borg cube. The traditional mold returned in 2009 as part of the past and present Rockslide box set that came with the Rise of Cobra version that did have a functioning windshield. The mold was used one more time in 2017 to create the convention-exclusive Battle Force 2000 Marauder snowmobile in very, very ugly colors.
You'll note that the name Polar Battle Bear was only ever used for the Ski-Mobile in the original line.
In other media, there was a commercial that featured the toy along with a bunch of figures. In the cartoon, the Battle Bear showed up a bunch of times and served as a cold weather vehicle without much fanfare. What's weird is the cartoon model gave it an orange stripe on the front and painted the engine cover the same orange. Also, they made it a 2-seater, which I can understand as it allows for more character interactions. In the comics, the vehicle first showed up in issue 11, even making the cover, but then it barely showed up at all in later issues. That's probably because the comic did very few Arctic stories, and when they did, the Snowcat had been released, which was a hotter item.
No pun intended.
In its showcase issue, the vehicle is a little inconsistent, as the cover shows it having 2 guns, but in the issue itself, there are either no guns showing or just one. It's also destroyed at the end of the story.
So maybe that also explains why it barely showed up later.
Speaking of the guns, or gun I guess, it's never fired in the issue, which annoys me since I wanted to make a point about how everything in the cartoon is lasers while the comic has bullets. The reason I wanted to bring it up here is because with this toy, Hasbro wanted to have their cake and eat it too, as both the front and the back of the box called them laser blasters, while the blueprints called them 55mm cannons. And that was the Polar Battle Bear. It's small, neat and fun. Just a great little cold weather vehicle.
Might be good for the classified series.
Though I guess they technically did already make one that came with that Snake Eyes set.
Well, I'll see you next time, everybody. And hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing?